Have you ever decided to eat more fruits and veggies so you stock up feeling motivated, only to find them forgotten and spoiled a few days later? You see, you start out strong, but then life gets busy and suddenly peeling and prepping just feels way too much to handle right now. And by the end of the week, your good intentions are buried under a pile of wilted greens and spoiled fruits. Sound familiar? Because if this is you, then this video is for you.
What we'll be talking about today is how to make healthy eating easier. And it's going to be focused mainly on transforming your environment for success. Now, of course, there are many different ways, but I feel like this is going to be one of the big ones that really has the most impact in your life, right? So, whether it is that you're just starting your journey towards healthier eating, or you're looking to just fine tune something that your existing habits already, or you're trying to find ways to just make it stick, I'm gonna tell you, you're in the right place. You're gonna love what we're going to be talking about today. But a little overview of what we're going to be doing is how to set yourself up for success by transforming your environment both externally and internally. So we'll talk about some practical strategies you can use as well, and how to make it more sustainable. And we're covering four key parts of it, like how do you increase more nutritious foods that we tend to lack in our eating habits or in our diet, which most times is the fiber foods, or those that have the key vitamins and minerals, like the foods like fruits and vegetables, whole grains as well, right? If any of these sound familiar, I can put in the chat. So we're taking a look at that. Then we're going to be looking at how can you reduce the temptation for the less nutritious foods, like the fatty, the sugar, the salty foods, like the fried food or sodas. Also, going to take a look at how to create a supporting environment. And lastly, how to um, transform the mind as well, transforming the environment in our mind, the internal environment. So, creating more of a positive, kind mindset that helps to reinforce your commitment to healthy eating. Now, before I dive into those things that I mentioned, those four things, what I wanted to ask here is we're setting some clear goals and define what healthy eating is, because figuring out what exactly it is that we want is very crucial, because it's so different. It's important that we define what healthy eating means to us, or it means to you. If you say you want to eat healthier, it's going to look different for everyone on this call right here. And so I want to ask you to put in the chat, what does eating healthier mean for you? So eating healthier for someone can be different, because it can mean that for one person they could eat the right amount of fruits and vegetables per day, they don't have any problems there, but then they drink a lot of soda. So for them, improving their eating habits, for them it looks like drinking less soda and drinking more water, right? So that's going to be different for one person. Or it could mean eating less cake. So everybody will be on different journey in life, right? So first I want to know, what does healthy eating mean to you? And then what does it mean for you specifically if you want to eat healthier? And it's so important that we look at this, because when we think about planning a trip, if I came up to you and I said to you, let's go on a trip, would you say yes right away? Or would you ask for a bit more details? Probably going to ask for more details, right? You want to know where you're going, what are we going to be doing, what path or route are we taking, right? This is going to help you to have an idea how long the trip is going to be. What do you need to pack? So it's going to be different if you're going to the beach versus if you're going somewhere where it's snowing. It's going to depend, it's going to determine what you pack, right? And then also, if you're going to be flying or traveling by bus or driving, again, that means you need to get your passport, etc. So it varies. And so you want to make sure you have a clear goal and a clear plan in place of what it means for you to be making healthier choices. Next is to really break it down now into some actionable steps, right? So if you know you want to eat more fruits and vegetables, or how many vegetables have you been eating per day? Maybe none, right? Maybe none, maybe one a day. So then it kind of gives you an idea, what's your goal? Is it to meet the goal of 5 servings of fruits and veggies per day? Then you decide, oh, okay, that's my target, to meet that goal of 5 serving of fruits and veggies per day. So I'm gonna start with adding 1 serving of veggies to my lunch every day for the next week. And then you're gonna gradually increase the next week. Doesn't that sound clearer than just saying I'm going to eat healthier? If you say you're going to eat healthier, what does that mean? It's kind of just like thrown into the water and not sure which direction to go. But now you kind of have more a clear goal. It's going to be for lunch. I'm going to add add that serving of veggies. But then there's something else as well. You want to track your progress. Tracking that progress lets you know that you're making progress, or it helps you to know if you're going the wrong way. It's like if you're going to St. Thomas or somewhere like that to a waterfall. The trip is 4 hours and you wait 4 hours to check the map or to realize that you're going the wrong direction. Maybe you took the wrong turn 2 hours ago. But if you're periodically checking, like when we travel certain places we've never been before and we're driving, we check the map to make sure we're on the right route. So it's kind of similar to that. We're setting that roadmap to reaching that goal of what healthier eating means for us. Okay, now that we've gotten that part out of the way, we can dive into the environmental part. Now, for the setting of the external environment, I decided to start with for those who want to include more of the nutritious foods, for example, or even if it's hydrating beverages, right? So let's say eating more fruits and veggies. That's the most common one I think I've seen so far in the chat. You've had your clear goals, you have a plan set up now. Got to set the environment too. So the first thing I'm going to say is have it on hand. You want to eat more fruits and veggies, have to have it on hand. Stock up on the fruits and the veggies in the house, right? Because if you say you're gonna, if today's Sunday, tomorrow is the decision where you're gonna say I'm gonna start eating more fruits and veggies. Then tomorrow comes and there's no fruits and veggies in the house. It's 8 p.m. Are you gonna leave your house and go buy the apple or the banana or the lettuce? Probably not, right? But if it's in the house already, it does make it easier because you don't have to. You're already making this new habit. You want to reduce the uh, the hurdles you have to jump through to getting it. So the less time between you saying I need to eat the apple, between you getting to the apple, the easier it is. But the more restriction, the more hurdles you have to go through, the longer it takes, the harder it's going to be to eat it. Make sense? All right. So then you have it on hand. And one of the things I would suggest is when you're trying to make new habits, start with the ones that you kind of like first. So choose the fruits and vegetables that you like already. This makes it easier for you, and then you can start trying new ones to see if you like them or not. And our taste buds evolve over time. There are a lot of fruits and veggies I didn't eat when I was younger that I love now. So it's keep that mind open and try them out as you go along. But if you're making this new habit, go with the ones that you know you already like. All right. The next one is keeping it where you can see it, the visible reminders. So, sticking with the fruits and veggies, keeping them where you can see them, like placing a bowl on the kitchen table or putting them on eye level in the fridge, right? Because I know some person that I know, we tend to keep them in the bottom shelf or in the drawer, and sometimes we forget about it. But having that visual cue, open the fridge or see it on the counter, is a constant reminder that we're on a mission right now, right? And that we're trying to choose healthier options. It's similar like, have you ever had where you walk into an office at work and you see donuts or everything just put onto the table, and it like you didn't want it before that, but the second you see it, you just feel for it and want it. So it's kind of similar to that, but you're choosing it with the fruits and the veggies now. The third thing is make it convenient. So by prepping your fruits and veggies, as soon as possible. So if you buy them today, prep them tomorrow. And what it means like washing and cutting them so that they're ready to eat when you are ready for it. So for example, you wash and peel the carrots, put into the carrot sticks, the apple slices, the grape, or you wash the grapes, and then you put them in container or in the fridge where it's easy to access and see. Then all you have to do now is just go in the fridge, take it out, and eat it. And it becomes very convenient because if you think about it, with potato chips or biscuits or candy, all you have to do is open a bag and eat. You don't have to prepare anything, you don't have to wash anything. And that's kind of one of the reasons why we like it so much, other than the taste, is because it's also convenient. So by prepping these foods that we're trying to include in our diet, it makes things easier, makes it convenient for us. And we're more likely to reach for them now than once it's prepped. A little tip though, when prepping these fruits and veggies, don't prep too many at once. I usually say like for 1 to 3 days. This way, they don't get soggy or dried out. And what you can, depending on what you're prepping, to help extend the shelf life, you Can consider the airtight sealed containers. Can also they have some containers that are specifically for fruits and veggies. Can also line the container with paper towel that it can absorb the moisture just to help extend the shelf life. But pretty much what it is just having these available, insight, convenient, really helps you to set yourself up for success. And it sounds small, these little changes, but they can have such a huge difference on your health. And a little tip, not necessarily environment, um, but if trying to add more veggies, because this is the one I'm seeing more often as well, is that if you're trying to eat more veggies or fruits, serve it first on your plate. Serve the veggies first on your plate. Make half your plate veggies. This way you don't forget it, and it's the first thing that goes on. I see someone saying that everything gets pushed in the back of the fridge. Yes, it does happen a lot. And weeks later, you go in the fridge and you find it and have to throw it away, which is wasting money, right? So that's it for the eating more of the foods that you want to include in your diet. Next is the setting up your environment in terms of reducing the things that you want to eat or drink less of. And it's kind of like the opposite of what I said before. Make it less convenient. So reducing how much of these foods are in your house. So let's say there's none in the house, and if you really, really want a slice of cake or donut, more than likely you're going to drive out and get it, right? The idea is to make it harder for you to be tempted. So just like how you were unlikely to go out and buy the fruit on a whim, just like that, it's just kind of again making it harder for you to get to. And if it is that you find yourself going for it, then it means that you probably really and truly did want it, and that you were not trying to fill an emotional void, like you were just bored, didn't know what to eat, you just felt for it, or you were frustrated or sad, because emotions can also trigger us to want those fatty, sugary, salty foods. I'll talk more about that as we go down, as we talk. All right, so that's one thing. Make it less convenient, less accessible for you. And the other one is making it harder to see and access at home if you do have these foods in your house, right? And when making this goal that we just talked about, right? Sometimes it can be very tempting because I've had many persons that they've said this to me that I wanted to do this, but I have all this food in my kitchen that I have to eat off first. So I'm going to just finish them off and then start fresh later. But what if instead, you know, kind of help yourself to eat in moderation? And what if you store them in hard to reach places or areas in the kitchen that you hardly visit, right? So for example, put them on a high cabinet, or in a part of the or in the low part of the kitchen, in the cabinet that not eye level, or somewhere in the kitchen that you hardly go to. So, for example, I have chocolate in the house, and I put the chocolate on the high cabinet. I'm short, so I'm not going to see it unless I really want it. So now, instead of having it out on the kitchen counter where it can tempt me if I see it, so instead of I didn't want it until I saw it, all of a sudden I feel for it. So instead of doing that, I put it away in the top cabinet. Now, the only time I really reach for it is when I truly desire the chocolate. And I've had those chocolates here for over 6 months, and I've probably only had them or had a piece of it for like 4 times out of the 6 months. And that's because I really and truly wanted the chocolate at that time. And that's not me restricting myself. It's more about learning moderation, right? And this is what it's really to help your body realize, do you truly desire it? Helping you to eat them in moderation rather than out of impulse or habit or because of emotions triggering you to want those. And this strategy really helps you set you up for success without feeling deprived. Feeling deprived and restricted is one of the things that a lot of barriers that persons face or challenges they face when trying to make changes. Okay, now, moving on to the next section, which is building a supportive community. We talked about the external environment through how to increase and decrease different types of foods or drinks based on what the goal is, right? And building a support, or let's say creating a supportive community or being in a supportive community. And I'm going to start with the household itself. So if you're comfortable letting the people you live with know about your plan to eat healthier, I believe communication is key here. And you share your goals with them and explain why it's important to you. Then you encourage them to support you, but not force them to join you. Okay, you don't want to cause any friction. So what I wanted to be kind of cautious how I said this. So when defining support, think of it more as support doesn't mean that your family shouldn't eat certain foods in front of you or that they need to hide them, right? Or that, you're asking them to join you. It's more about respecting your decision and setting boundaries because I've had other persons have said to me that they're trying to make these changes, but then their loved ones is tempting them by leaving it all around everywhere and saying telling them that they don't need to do this. Pretty much me not. I'm not sure what I'm looking for is right now, but it's everywhere and it's triggering them and setting them cues. So this is kind of what the support you're looking for at home. Not forcing, not causing any friction, but a different type of support, right? Whether it's through emotional support or gentle reminders and have an appreciating your boundaries. Next is these things can encourage positive changes because even if right now maybe someone that you live with or your friends aren't on the same journey as you, right? And so maybe that's why they're not ready to join that, and that's okay. But maybe later on and down the line, they may want to join you, whether it's your family or friends, because they've seen such positive changes in you and decide they want to join it. And then you're leading, and that can be so powerful as you're inspiring others to lead healthier lifestyle. So it's also your environment, you're spreading all this as well, inspiring healthier choices for others. And if you have children, this is so, so important because consider how your eating habits impact your children. Children, they kind of follow more what you do than what you say. And so if you're more mindful of your consumption, you're setting more positive examples, and they're eating, choosing these foods more often than the less nutritious foods, then they're developing healthier eating habits from like an earlier age. And which is really good because we as adults, we already know how challenging it can be to break an unhealthy habit and establish new ones, right? So instilling these healthier habits in the children early can really set them up for a brighter future. And while doing this as well, and I'm mentioning this because I know a lot of persons here do have children, right? Or you have niece or nephews or little cousins. For persons who do have picky eaters and want some tips and recipes on how to help with this, we did do a previous health talk series on this.
So you can either send us an email or check the description below for the video.
The last thing in creating a community is to join a community as well. Find a group of like-minded people who are on a similar journey. It can be an online group, it can be a local group, whether at work or in your community or a group of friends. Having this accountability partner can be so motivating. We have an accountability group. Some of you here are in the group, and that is so incredible because you have persons inspiring, right, each other, sharing what they're doing, how they are feeling, lifting each other up. And if they're not seeing someone for a little bit, they're going to call them, give them a little nudge, a reminder, and so motivation gets you started, but it's that discipline and staying on track that really keeps you going. And having this community, whether it's by seeing the recipes, seeing the tips, seeing how they're supporting each other, how they're showing up, it helps you to stay on track even more.
And if you're looking for a supportive, motivating community to help keep you accountable as you build these habits, this is exactly what we help people with. Inside our community, you'll find not just guidance, but real connection, encouragement, and practical tools to help you stay on track. So if you like this support, check out the description below to learn more and join us.
But overall, having a supportive community at home, at work, around you can make a really huge difference. Setting up your internal environment for success. This one is a huge one. I think it's probably the most important one. But we spend so much time in our mind, that it's so important that we talk about this.